It was an ordinary summer afternoon in Pompeii on August 24, 79 AD. As the Mediterranean sun cast its golden light over the ancient Roman city, life unfolded as it had for generations. Children played in the stone-paved streets, merchants haggled in the forum, and slaves prepared dinner in the kitchens of the great villa. None of them could have imagined that in mere hours, their lives would be forever preserved in ash, creating one of history's most remarkable time capsules. The story of Pompeii and Herculaneum stands as one of the most dramatic and well-documented events in Roman history. These prosperous cities, nestled in the fertile region of Campania in southern Italy, lived in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, a mountain whose destructive potential remained unknown to its inhabitants. The volcano had been dormant for so long that the local population had no memory or written record of its previous eruptions. Pompeii, with its population of approximately 20,000, was a vibrant commercial hub where trade, culture, and daily Roman life flourished. Its strategic location near the Bay of Naples made it a crucial port city, connecting maritime trade routes throughout the Mediterranean. The city's streets buzzed with activity, lined with shops, workshops, temples, and public buildings that served its diverse population of merchants, craftsmen, slaves, and wealthy citizens. Herculaneum, though smaller and more refined than its neighbor, was a prestigious resort town favored by Roman aristocracy. Its luxurious villas, adorned with spectacular frescoes and mosaics, overlooked the serene waters of the Mediterranean. The wealthy Romans who maintained summer residences here were drawn to its pleasant climate and stunning coastal location. The Roman Empire was at its height during this period, under the rule of Emperor Titus. The region of Campania exemplified Roman prosperity, with its fertile volcanic soil producing abundant crops and its cities showcasing the empire's architectural and cultural achievements. The area was known for its vineyards, farms, and fishing industry, which contributed to its economic success. The residents of these cities lived according to typical Roman customs and social structures. Their days were marked by visits to the public baths, religious ceremonies at the temples, business transactions in the forum, and entertainment at the amphitheater. The complex social hierarchy of Roman society was fully evident, from the wealthy elite in their spacious homes to the slaves who served them. Archaeological evidence reveals that the region had experienced significant seismic activity in the years leading up to the eruption, including a major earthquake in 62 AD that had damaged many buildings. However, the Romans, lacking understanding of the connection between seismic activity and volcanic eruptions, continued rebuilding and living their lives, unaware of the catastrophe that awaited them. This moment in history, frozen in time by the volcanic eruption, provides us with an unparalleled window into the daily life of ancient Romans. The tragedy that befell these cities would preserve them for nearly 2 millennia, allowing modern historians and archaeologists to piece together one of the most complete pictures we have of life in the Roman Empire. Walking through the streets of ancient Pompeii on that fateful morning would have engaged all your senses in a vibrant display of Roman urban life. The city pulsed with energy as dawn broke over the Bay of Naples, casting long shadows across the precisely laid basalt stone streets. The distinctive aroma of freshly baked bread wafted from the pastrina, the local bakeries, where bakers had been working since before dawn to prepare the day's goods in their large brick ovens. The architectural splendor of Pompeii revealed itself at every corner. Colorful mosaics adorned the entrances of homes, their intricate patterns telling stories of myth and daily life. Vivid frescoes in brilliant reds, blues, and golds covered the walls, depicting scenes from classical mythology, landscapes, and portraits of wealthy residents. The craftsmanship of these artworks speaks to the sophistication of Roman artistic techniques and the prosperity of the city's inhabitants. The Forum, Pompeii's beating heart, buzzed with activity as merchants set up their stalls for the day's trading. This vast public square, surrounded by imposing columns and important civic buildings, hosted a remarkable display of goods from across the vast Roman Empire. Traders offered silks from the distant Orient, their delicate fabrics shimmering in the morning light. Exotic spices from Egypt filled the air with their pungent aromas, while amphorae of premium olive oil from Hispania lined the market stalls. The diversity of these goods testified to Pompeii's importance as a commercial center and the extensive reach of Roman trade networks. In nearby Herculaneum, the atmosphere was more refined and leisurely. Luxurious villas cascaded down the slopes toward the Mediterranean Sea, their terraces offering breathtaking views of the azure waters below. The wealthy residents of these mansions surrounded themselves with the finest examples of Roman artistry. The walls of their homes, preserved remarkably by the volcanic materials that would eventually entomb them, still display some of the most beautiful frescoes ever discovered from the Roman world. These masterpieces showcase sophisticated techniques in perspective, color usage, and storytelling through art. The crown jewel of Herculaneum was the Villa of the Pompeii, an immense residence that stretched over 250 meters along the ancient shoreline. This magnificent structure housed one of the ancient world's most remarkable private libraries, containing over 1,800 papyrus scrolls. These texts, primarily works of Epicurean philosophy, represented an invaluable collection of ancient knowledge and literature. The villa's design, with its spacious peristyle gardens, reflected pools, and bronze sculptures, epitomized Roman luxury living. The streets of both cities were lined with thermopolia, ancient fast food establishments, where steam rose from large terracotta pots embedded in marble counters, containing various hot foods and wines. The sounds of daily life filled the air: the calls of street vendors, the chatter of citizens in the public baths, the echoing footsteps in the covered walkways, and the distant rumble of cart wheels on stone streets. Public fountains provided fresh water throughout the cities, their constant splashing adding to the urban symphony. In the gardens of the wealthy, ornate fountains and statuary created peaceful retreats from the busy streets. The architecture showcased a perfect blend of functionality and aesthetics, from the humble shops of craftsmen to the grandest public buildings, all adhering to sophisticated Roman engineering and design principles. This vibrant urban landscape, preserved in extraordinary detail by the very catastrophe that would destroy it, provides us with an unparalleled glimpse into the sophisticated and complex world of Roman city life in the 1st century AD. The cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum stand as testament to the advanced nature of Roman civilization, where art, commerce, and daily life intertwined in a rich cultural tapestry. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD would have been lost to history as just another natural disaster were it not for the detailed eyewitness account of Pliny the Younger. Then a 17-year-old student, Pliny observed the catastrophic events from Misenum, a naval base across the Bay of Naples. His vivid descriptions, preserved in 2 letters written to the historian Tacitus some 25 years after the event, provide us with the only surviving first-hand account of the disaster and have proven invaluable to both historians and volcanologists. In his letters, Pliny the Younger describes the eruption with remarkable precision and literary skill. His most famous passage paints a haunting picture of the eruption's initial stages. A cloud was ascending, an extraordinary and alarming sight. Its general appearance can best be expressed as being like a pine tree, for it rose to a great height on a sort of trunk and then split off into branches. I imagine it was thrust upward by the first blast and then left unsupported as the pressure subsided, or else it was borne down by its own weight so that it spread out and gradually dispersed. This description was so accurate that geologists now refer to this type of volcanic eruption as a Plinian eruption. The other key figure in this historical drama was Pliny the Elder, the Younger's uncle and a remarkable man of his time. As the commander of the Roman fleet at Misenum and a renowned natural philosopher, Pliny the Elder was both a military leader and a scholar. He was the author of Natural History, an encyclopedic work that attempted to compile all known human knowledge about the natural world. His scientific curiosity, combined with his sense of duty, would ultimately lead to his death. When the eruption began, Pliny the Elder received a desperate message from his friend Rectina, who lived at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. Initially intending to study the phenomenon and provide assistance, he ordered his fleet's warships to sea. As the severity of the situation became apparent, what started as a scientific expedition transformed into a large-scale rescue operation. Pliny the Younger recounts how his uncle braved the falling ash and pumice to reach the coast near Stabii, where he attempted to evacuate stranded residents. The elder Pliny's death, as described by his nephew, was both tragic and emblematic of his character. Trapped on the beach by contrary winds and toxic fumes, he refused to abandon his mission. His body was found 2 days later, presumably overcome by poisonous gases from the volcano. His death demonstrates both the deadly nature of the eruption and the Roman sense of duty and courage in the face of disaster. Through Pliny the Younger's account, we also learn of the public's reaction to the unfolding catastrophe. He describes the panic of the population, the earth tremors that preceded the eruption, and the darkness that descended upon the region, not as on a moonless or cloudy night, but as if the lamp had been put out in a closed room. His description of the evacuation is particularly poignant, with people tying pillows to their heads with cloths to protect themselves from falling debris, and the sounds of women lamenting, children crying, and men shouting. Other characters emerge from the archaeological evidence, though their names are lost to history. The plaster casts of victims in Pompeii reveal ordinary people caught in their final moments. A mother clutching her child, guards at their posts, slaves alongside their masters, and even dogs still chained to their posts. These anonymous victims provide silent testimony to the human cost of the disaster. The accounts of Pliny the Younger, combined with archaeological evidence, allow us to reconstruct not only the sequence of events but also the human experience of this catastrophe. His letters remain a testament to the importance of historical documentation and remind us that behind every historical event are real people with their own stories, fears, and acts of courage. The detailed observations he provided continue to inform our understanding of volcanic phenomena and serve as a crucial link to one of ancient history's most significant natural disasters. At 1 p.m. on August 24, 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius awakened from its long slumber in a display of nature's raw power that would forever change the landscape of the Bay of Naples. The initial explosion was catastrophic, thrusting a massive column of gases, ash, and rock an astounding 15 kilometers into the sky. This towering column, now known to volcanologists as a Plinian column, cast an ominous shadow over the surrounding countryside. The first phase of the eruption lasted several hours, during which Pompeii was bombarded by a relentless rain of pumice stones and volcanic debris. These lightweight porous rocks, some as large as fists, began accumulating on rooftops and in streets at a rate of about 15 centimeters per hour. The sky, once bright with the summer sun, turned to darkness as volcanic ash blocked out all natural light, creating an apocalyptic scene that must have terrified the population. The residents' reactions varied dramatically, revealing much about human nature in the face of disaster. Some citizens, recognizing the gravity of the situation, fled immediately, carrying what precious possessions they could. Archaeological evidence shows people clutching coins, jewelry, and small valuables as they attempted to escape. Others, tragically, chose to wait out what they possibly thought was a temporary phenomenon, seeking shelter in their homes or in the vaulted arcades of public buildings. This fatal decision would seal their fate. As the eruption progressed, the situation grew increasingly dire. The continuous fall of pumice and ash caused roofs to collapse under their weight, trapping many who had sought shelter indoors. The air became thick with volcanic dust, making breathing difficult. Those who remained in the city faced not only the danger from falling debris but also the growing risk of asphyxiation. The most devastating phase of the eruption began in the early hours of August 25, when the first pyroclastic surges and flows appeared. These deadly phenomena, known as news ardents, glowing clouds, were avalanches of superheated toxic gases, ash, and rock fragments that raced down the volcano's slopes at speeds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour. The temperature within these flows reached an incomprehensible 700 degrees Celsius, instantly killing anyone in their path. The pyroclastic flows proved to be the final blow for both Pompeii and Herculaneum, though they met their ends in slightly different ways. Pompeii, located farther from the volcano, had already been buried under meters of pumice before the flows arrived. Herculaneum, closer to Vesuvius, was hit directly by the first pyroclastic surge, which carbonized organic materials instantly and caused the deaths of those who had remained in the city. The speed and intensity of these flows meant that death was instantaneous for most victims. Archaeological evidence reveals bodies frozen in their final positions, some protecting their faces, others huddled together in groups. The hot gases and ash effectively mummified the victims, creating the famous plaster casts that now provide such poignant testimony to the disaster. The eruption continued through August 25, with multiple pyroclastic flows that radically altered the landscape. The coastline was extended by hundreds of meters as volcanic debris filled the bay. Pompeii was buried under approximately 4 to 6 meters of volcanic material, while Herculaneum was entombed under up to 25 meters of pyroclastic deposits. Modern volcanologists estimate that the total energy released by the eruption was equivalent to 100,000 times that of the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The volcano ejected more than 1.5 cubic kilometers of rock and ash, causing widespread destruction across the Bay of Naples region. This catastrophic event, while devastating for its victims, created an unprecedented archaeological treasure. The very manner of the city's destruction, rapid burial under volcanic material, preserved them in remarkable detail, providing us with an unparalleled window into Roman life in the 1st century AD. The layers of ash and pumice effectively sealed these cities in a time capsule, protecting them from the ravages of time and human interference until their rediscovery nearly 1,700 years later. The extraordinary preservation of Pompeii and Herculaneum provides an unparalleled glimpse into Roman society, offering us what amounts to a complete snapshot of urban life frozen in time. The archaeological evidence reveals a complex and sophisticated society, with layers of social, economic, and cultural practices that continue to fascinate scholars and visitors alike. The walls of Pompeii serve as an ancient social media platform, covered in electoral graffiti, personal messages, and advertisements that bring the city's inhabitants to life. These inscriptions, known as graffiti and dipinti, reveal the vibrant political life of the city. Campaign slogans promote local candidates for office. Vote for Lucius Papitius Sabinus. He provides good bread. Such messages demonstrate that political campaigning and public endorsements were as much a part of Roman life as they are today. The discovery of numerous thermopolia, food establishments, with their counters still containing food provides insight into Roman eating habits and social customs. These ancient fast food establishments, with their built-in terracotta pots holding food and wine, serve the working class who often lacked cooking facilities in their own homes. Menu prices scratched on walls indicate a complex economy with established pricing systems. Personal messages found on walls reveal intimate details of daily life. Love notes, insults, and casual observations give voice to the city's inhabitants. Successus, the weaver, loves Iris, the innkeeper's slave girl, or Celadus the Thracian gladiator is the glory of all the girls. These messages humanize the ancient Romans, showing that their hopes, desires, and conflicts were not so different from our own. The material culture preserved in both cities demonstrates the sophistication of Roman technology and craftsmanship. Carbonized loaves of bread found in a baker's oven, perfectly preserved by the intense heat, show the exact shape and size of daily bread. These loaves were scored into 8 sections, suggesting standardized portion sizes and regulated food production. The discovery of business records, including wax tablets and wall inscriptions, reveals a complex economic system. Records from the banker Caecilius Jucundus provide detailed information about loans, property transactions, and auction sales, demonstrating sophisticated financial practices that wouldn't seem out of place in a modern context. Social stratification is evident in the architecture and artifacts found throughout both cities. Luxurious villas with elaborate frescoes, private bathhouses, and imported marble furnishings contrast sharply with the modest apartments of the working class. However, the eruption proved to be a great equalizer. Volcanic debris buried both rich and poor alike, as evidenced by the plaster casts of victims found in various locations throughout the cities. The role of women in Roman society is particularly well documented through the archaeological evidence. Inscriptions mention female business owners and property holders, such as Eumakia, a prominent priestess and patroness who funded public buildings. This challenges traditional views about women's roles in ancient society. Religious practices are revealed through the numerous temples, household shrines, larvaria, and ritual objects found throughout both cities. The diversity of cults and beliefs is evident, from traditional Roman deities to Egyptian gods like Isis, showing the cosmopolitan nature of these ancient cities. One of the most poignant aspects of the discoveries is the evidence of everyday life interrupted. Jewelry boxes containing precious items, coins scattered near bodies, and valuable household items left behind tell stories of desperate attempts to escape. A pregnant woman wearing golden bracelets, a dog still chained to its post, and families huddled together in their final moments remind us of the human tragedy behind the archaeological treasure. The preservation of tools and workshops provides insight into ancient crafts and technologies. Fooleries, laundries, bakeries, workshops for metalworking, and artist studios with their implements still in place demonstrate the variety of trades and skills that sustained urban life. Perhaps most remarkably, the sites reveal the sophistication of Roman engineering and urban planning. The grid system of streets, raised sidewalks with stepping stones for crossing roads, lead water pipes, public fountains, and complex drainage systems all point to a highly developed urban infrastructure that in some ways rivals modern cities. These preserved elements create a comprehensive picture of a society that was complex, sophisticated, and in many ways surprisingly modern. The cultural and social revelations from Pompeii and Herculaneum continue to challenge our assumptions about ancient life and demonstrate that Roman society was far more developed and nuanced than previously imagined. The rediscovery and excavation of Pompeii and Herculaneum represents one of archaeology's most significant achievements, revolutionizing our understanding of the ancient Roman world. The process of uncovering these cities has been a centuries-long endeavor, marked by innovative techniques and groundbreaking discoveries. The cities were accidentally discovered in the early 18th century when workers digging a well struck ancient walls. Herculaneum was found first in 1709, followed by Pompeii in 1748. The initial excavations, conducted under the Bourbon kings of Naples, were more akin to treasure hunting than scientific archaeology. Valuable artifacts were removed for the royal collections, often with little regard for context or documentation. Charles of Bourbon began systematic excavations in 1738, primarily seeking artifacts to enhance his personal collection. These early excavations, while not meeting modern archaeological standards, did bring to light spectacular finds that sparked widespread interest in classical antiquity throughout Europe. The appointment of Giuseppe Fiorelli as director of excavations in 1860 marked a turning point in the archaeological exploration of Pompeii. Fiorelli introduced several revolutionary methods that transformed the field of archaeology. His most famous innovation was the method of creating plaster casts of victims. By identifying voids in the ash where bodies had decomposed, Fiorelli injected liquid plaster to create perfect casts of the victims in their final moments. These casts provide haunting testimony to the human tragedy and have become iconic symbols of the disaster. Fiorelli introduced a grid system for organizing the excavations, dividing the city into regions, insulae, blocks, and individual buildings. This system is still used today and has become a model for archaeological documentation. He emphasized the importance of studying the layers of volcanic deposits, helping to understand the sequence of events during the eruption. Imagine Pompeii and Herculaneum as they once were, bustling with life, their streets alive with people unaware of the looming disaster. Among the most remarkable finds are human remains that capture the final, tragic moments of these individuals. In the Garden of the Fugitives, the bodies of 13 victims, including both children and adults, are frozen forever in their desperate attempts to escape. In another haunting discovery, the remains of a pregnant woman adorned in fine jewelry were found, hinting at her affluent status and the tragic fate that befell her family. Guards were uncovered at their posts, showing the enduring discipline of Roman military. Even a dog, still chained to its post, was discovered, its body contorted in its last, heartbreaking struggles against the encroaching danger. Beyond these individual stories, the architectural discoveries of Pompeii open windows into a lost world. The Villa of the Mysteries, with its famous frescoes, is particularly intriguing, offering a glimpse into what appears to be initiation rites into a mysterious and possibly secret cult. Then there's the House of the Faun, one of the most luxurious private residences of its time, and the ancient amphitheater, known as the oldest permanent stone amphitheater in the Roman world. These grand structures stand as reminders of the opulence, culture, and advancements that characterized Roman life before the eruption. Artifacts recovered from the sites provide a detailed snapshot of everyday life. Among these are carbonized food items, such as bread, fruits, and vegetables, preserved by the volcanic ash. Tools, surgical instruments, and household items reveal the sophistication of Roman society. Advanced medical practices are suggested by these instruments. Also found were musical instruments, gaming pieces, and complete kitchen sets, reflecting the cultural life and personal leisure of these ancient people. Each artifact, preserved by the volcanic catastrophe, sheds light on the Romans' daily routines, tastes, and interests. In recent decades, archaeologists have applied advanced technology to uncover even more details of Pompeii and Herculaneum. Ground-penetrating radar has mapped structures still hidden beneath layers of ash, offering hope for future discoveries. DNA analysis of human and animal remains provides insights into the health, diets, and genetic diversity of the ancient population. Digital mapping and 3D modeling techniques allow for precise reconstructions of buildings and streets, while multispectral imaging reveals previously hidden details in frescoes and artifacts. X-ray fluorescence helps identify the chemical composition of pigments and materials, allowing us to understand the artistry and resources available in ancient Rome. The work at Pompeii and Herculaneum continues, as these sites still offer new surprises. In recent years, excavations have uncovered a thermopolium, or snack bar, with preserved food remains in beautifully decorated vessels, offering insights into Roman culinary practices. A fully intact ceremonial chariot was discovered, a testament to the complexity and craftsmanship of ancient transportation. The Great Pompeii Project, a significant conservation effort, has brought to light new rooms and buildings, preserving them for study and public view. Despite these incredible discoveries, Pompeii and Herculaneum face ongoing preservation challenges. Environmental factors, including weathering and erosion, threaten the stability of these ancient structures. With millions of visitors each year, the pressure from tourism adds further strain, and structural instability in some areas raises concerns for the safety of both the ruins and the people who visit them. Continuous maintenance and restoration are essential to protect these fragile remnants of history. Looking ahead, archaeologists anticipate even more remarkable finds, as approximately 30% of Pompeii remains unexcavated. With a focus on non-invasive investigation techniques, modern archaeology aims to uncover these areas while preserving them. Conservation of already exposed sites remains a priority, alongside efforts to understand the broader context of Pompeii and Herculaneum within the Roman Empire. The continued application of new technologies promises to enhance our understanding, documentation, and preservation of these extraordinary glimpses into the ancient world. Each new discovery adds to our understanding of Roman civilization, while also presenting new questions for investigation. The sites continue to serve as both an invaluable research laboratory for archaeologists and a powerful reminder of ancient Roman life, frozen in time by one of history's most famous natural disasters. The preservation of Pompeii and Herculaneum has had a profound and lasting impact on our understanding of ancient Roman civilization, while significantly influencing modern culture, art, and scholarship. Their legacy continues to shape our perspective on history and archaeology. The rediscovery of Pompeii and Herculaneum did more than captivate the imaginations of 18th and 19th century Europe. It ignited a full-blown artistic and architectural revival known as the neoclassical movement. Artists and architects alike drew inspiration from the frescoes, statues, and architectural elements unearthed in these ancient cities, integrating them into European mansions, public buildings, and even fashion. The iconic Pompeian red became a staple of interior decoration, adding an elegant, classical touch to European and American homes. This trend influenced everything from wall frescoes to the very structure of buildings, bringing ancient Roman aesthetics into a modern era that sought to mirror the glory of antiquity. Roman-inspired clothing, jewelry, and home furnishings brought the spirit of ancient Rome into the daily lives of people in the late 18th century. Jewelry designers took cues from Roman styles, echoing the designs found in the ruins, while furniture makers replicated pieces seen in Pompeii's preserved households. Interior decorating trends likewise followed suit, with motifs from Pompeian wall paintings adorning homes. These artistic elements allowed people to incorporate a bit of classical luxury and sophistication into their environments, linking past and present through style. Pompeii and Herculaneum contributed not only to art but also to the academic and scientific understanding of ancient Rome. The discovery of these cities led to the development of modern archaeological techniques, including the stratigraphic excavation method, which allows researchers to carefully uncover history layer by layer. Systematic documentation and preservation methods also emerged, setting standards for archaeology. On the historical side, these sites provided unparalleled insights into Roman urban planning, engineering, social structures, and daily life, painting a detailed picture of a thriving Roman society and its complex systems. Recent discoveries continue to enrich our understanding of Pompeii. From 2020 to 2024, remarkable finds such as the Thermopolium, with intact food remains, and ceremonial chariots in extraordinary condition have offered new insights into Roman culinary habits and social practices. Cutting-edge technologies like 3D scanning, DNA analysis, and digital preservation are now part of the archaeologist's toolkit, allowing researchers to virtually reconstruct ancient settings and provide a vivid glimpse into the past. These advancements bring an exciting, modern dimension to the study of these ancient sites, allowing for detailed exploration and preservation of history. The impact of Pompeii and Herculaneum on education is immense. The study of these cities led to the formation of classical archaeology as an academic discipline and the development of conservation science, with universities training future generations of archaeologists in field techniques. Public education also benefits from these ancient cities through museum exhibitions, educational programs, and digital reconstructions. Virtual reality experiences and documentary films bring the ruins to a wider audience, enabling people of all ages to connect with the lives of the Romans and the stories etched into the walls of Pompeii and Herculaneum. Pompeii has become a major tourist destination, attracting millions of visitors annually. This influx of tourists brings significant economic benefits to the surrounding region, driving the development of cultural tourism and creating employment opportunities. However, this popularity presents challenges in balancing preservation with accessibility. The pressure from foot traffic and environmental factors make continuous conservation efforts essential, requiring funding and innovative preservation methods to ensure the stability of the ruins. The legacy of Pompeii and Herculaneum extends into popular media, with countless books, films, and documentaries inspired by the mystery and tragedy of these ancient cities. Films and television series set in Pompeii help to keep the story alive, while artistic interpretations offer new ways of understanding and connecting with its history. Virtual tours and online exhibitions have expanded Pompeii's digital presence, engaging a global audience and providing educational content for people to explore from their own homes. The study of Pompeii has contributed significantly to the field of volcanology. Scientists have gained a better understanding of volcanic processes, including the behavior of pyroclastic flows, leading to improved risk assessment and evacuation procedures. Conservation science has also advanced, with methods for analyzing materials, preserving artifacts, and protecting the sites against environmental threats, ensuring that Pompeii remains a preserved window into the past for generations to come. Lessons from Pompeii extend to modern urban planning and disaster preparedness. The city's layout offers insights into the organization of public and private spaces, infrastructure, and social dynamics. Furthermore, Pompeii's story serves as a cautionary tale about natural disasters, reinforcing the importance of preparedness and the resilience needed to protect communities from similar catastrophes. The future holds promise for Pompeii. With around 30% of the city still unexcavated, there remains potential for groundbreaking discoveries. As new technologies continue to emerge, archaeologists anticipate uncovering more of the city's hidden secrets while preserving what has already been revealed. These sites continue to be invaluable as educational and research tools, providing interactive learning experiences and inspiring curiosity about ancient life, making Pompeii and Herculaneum eternal sources of fascination and knowledge. Their impact remains dynamic and evolving, as new discoveries and interpretations continue to emerge, ensuring their relevance for future generations while maintaining their status as unique windows into the ancient world. The catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, while devastating for its victims, has provided humanity with an invaluable historical treasure. The remarkable preservation of Pompeii and Herculaneum offers us more than just archaeological artifacts. It presents an unprecedented window into the daily lives, hopes, dreams, and final moments of ancient Romans. These cities, frozen in time, stand as silent witnesses to both the fragility of human life and the enduring spirit of human civilization. The value of these archaeological sites extends far beyond their role as tourist attractions. They serve as unparalleled educational resources, providing scholars, historians, and archaeologists with continuous opportunities for new discoveries and insights. Every excavated home, every unearthed artifact, and every preserved fresco adds another piece to our understanding of Roman society. From the grandest villa to the humblest workshop, from political graffiti to personal possessions, these remnants tell the story of a vibrant, sophisticated civilization that in many ways mirrors our own. The tragedy of Vesuvius also offers sobering lessons about human vulnerability in the face of natural disasters. The residents of Pompeii and Herculaneum, like many people today, live their lives in the shadow of a sleeping giant, unaware of the devastating potential that loomed above them. Their fate reminds us of the importance of understanding and respecting the natural forces that shape our world. Perhaps most poignantly, the plaster casts of the victims, capturing their final moments in extraordinary detail, create an emotional connection across millennia. These aren't just historical figures. They were real people with lives, families, and stories of their own. Their final poses, a mother protecting her child, a dog still faithful to its post, couples embracing in their last moments, speak to universal human experiences that transcend time. The legacy of Pompeii and Herculaneum continues to evolve as new technologies and archaeological methods reveal previously hidden aspects of these ancient cities. Each generation of researchers brings fresh perspectives and tools to the study of these sites, ensuring that they remain relevant and continue to yield new insights into Roman civilization. The preservation of these cities serves as a reminder of the importance of protecting and studying our historical heritage. Through them, we gain not only knowledge of the past but also insights into our own society and humanity's enduring characteristics. The streets, homes, and artifacts of Pompeii and Herculaneum remind us that despite the passage of 2 millennia, human nature, our hopes, fears, loves, and daily concerns, remains fundamentally unchanged. As we look to the future, these remarkable sites continue to captivate new generations, bridging the gap between past and present. They stand as testament to human resilience, creativity, and the eternal cycle of destruction and preservation that shapes our historical narrative. In the end, the story of Pompeii and Herculaneum is not just about destruction, but about the extraordinary way in which catastrophe preserved a moment in time, allowing us to reach across the centuries and touch the lives of those who came before us.